Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and in today's video it's time for me to eat some humble pie and completely relearn my standing press, my press from square one. It's time for me to admit that I have major shoulder mobility issues that I am now working on daily. It's time for me to admit that my technique on this exercise has been far from ideal. Now, you guys remember back in meet prep in the UK, I built my beltless pause high bar squat to 465 on camera. You guys remember when I threw on a belt on camera, I built my high bar Olympic style squat up to 508 pounds with no wraps, no sleeves. I know a lot about squatting. I know a lot about the deadlift. I suck at the overhead press. Let's just call it like it is. Can we be honest here? Can I be honest with myself? Yeah. I decided to start from square one. Go back. You guys have seen my shoulder development in my tank top. My delt and shoulder girdle has come up tremendously with me just basically muscling the weight up without really good form. My form hasn't been good. And my shoulder mobility sucks. My shoulder mobility sucks, and it makes it hard for me to lock out. Now, it doesn't help that I have scar tissue in my left bicep from the tear and everything before. But you know what? That's exacerbated by the shoulder mobility issues. And it's all exacerbated by my poor technique on the overhead press. So I went back and I looked at someone, and a lot of people go, oh my God, why would you look at Rip Toe? Because I like Rip Toe. I don't agree with everything the man says, but he's coached thousands of people. He coaches Olympic lifts. He coaches the overhead press. And I went back and looked at everything that Rip has to say about the overhead press, and it made me realize, you know what? He actually knows what the hell he's talking about with this exercise. So I came back and said, okay, I'm going to start working on his technique on it. Now, I thought because last week, using my technique, I did 180 pounds for 7 sets of 3, right? 180 for 7 sets of 3. But it also left my lower back a little sore, and it left my wrists a little sore. And I've realized I need to start working with his grip. Now, some people are going to be like, well, your wrists are cocked back a little bit. Yes, they are, because I can't grip the bar any other way. I don't see how anybody grips on any press with their wrists locked straight up and down. I've never been able to do it. I've always found it painful. So there is a little bit of cocking back of the wrist, but I am using that bulldog grip when I come up. But even when I look on camera, I don't see it other than when it's on camera. I've benched well over 400 pounds for reps using that same grip without pain, so I don't see what people are saying. But as far back as I was cocking them before, did leave my wrists a little sore, especially when I started doing 180. But anyway, back to this. So yeah, I'm using a slightly wider grip, trying to use the bulldog grip that Rip teaches. Now you guys are going to notice on all these sets with 175 and down, I am not setting my lats into the right position. And I started doing it later. I think I got to a third set with 175, which, you know, for me, I did 10 by 3 with that on camera a couple weeks ago, using my technique. But using this new one, I failed on a set. I failed on the third rep. I didn't fail so much. I guess I did fail. Let's call it a failure. It didn't feel right, and I stopped. I'm like, this does not feel right. I'm doing something wrong. And part of it is the way that I'm approaching the bar. Realize, okay, I'm approaching the bar incorrectly. I need to set my triceps against my lats at the bottom. And I've had to change my mental cues. Again, chest up, hips forward, butt cheeks clenched. I need to quit setting my hips in a squat position because this is an overhead press, not a squat. Shoulder mobility really starts to become apparent as I get fatigued. I struggle with the lockouts. So I started a couple days ago doing some extra shoulder mobility exercises, and what I'm going to have to do until I can comfortably lock every rep on every set on the overhead press, I'm going to have to do shoulder mobility work every single day. You know what? Because guys, I'm about to be 41. I want to get stronger. I need to remain injury free. If my shoulders aren't healthy enough to hold good, strong lockouts on an overhead press on my work sets, that's not good. And it's time to address this stuff right now. I can't keep holding off on this. This needs to be fixed. I'm back in this mode because of this system I'm doing right now. It's about what? Lift mastery. Coming in and mastering lifts, mastering technique. You guys notice how pretty my bench press technique is? Everyone's like, man, your bench press technique is pretty. Well, I'm about to adjust that further. I'm about to adjust my grip because my leverages aren't ideal. And I said that a few days ago. Next week, I will be adjusting my grip to get better leverages with my forearms. I've built up as much strength base as I think is reasonable using the technique I'm using. It's time to get my levers more efficient. Well, this overhead press is atrocious. So we're rebuilding. So yeah, I had to drop down. I realized, okay, 175 is too heavy. I don't have this technique down. I need to drop down to 155. Do some sets of 5. Work on this technique. Get this dialed in. You learn to use this grip. You learn to use this grip width, the hand position, elbow position, set my hips differently, get my chest up. There's a lot of mental cues that I've been doing different for a while now. These things need to be fixed. So we're going to fix it. I need to master this lift. It goes back to the point I was making before. This is one reason high set training is so good. It lets you master the lift. It lets you come in and on set after set start adjusting minor little things till they feel right. You guys notice even when I went to this 155, I approached the bar different. I get the arms down first. I get my hands in position, get everything down so that I can rest my triceps against my lats. I got big lats. Use them. Get those triceps against them. It is what it is. This lift has to be mastered. And I'm not good at it right now. And my technique is bad. My mobility is bad. And I really have no excuse for that. I have no excuse for that. So since I have no excuse for it, I need to fix it. I'm here as someone who is teaching other people. I get on camera and talk about training and everything else for a living. And when there's a basic exercise like the overhead press where my mobility sucks, my technique sucks, everything sucks, I need to fix that. I don't have an excuse for that. I need to do better. I need to set a better example. So I'm going to stop making excuses on that, and I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it. Now, what I will say, this different technique, my God, did I feel it in my delts more. Honestly, that 155 made my delts throb as much as 180 did last week. So maybe there's something to this. This is going to make my shoulders stronger. You know what? I didn't feel anything in my lower back. I didn't feel anything in my wrists. Some people are like, well, your wrists were cocked a little bit. Yeah, but I didn't feel anything in them. I can't tell that they've been trained. And that's a little different. Again, that's going to be useful. It's going to be useful. And then I did skull crushers after. Came in, did my warm-up. Did 3 sets of 8. Because, again, I need my triceps stronger. So yeah, triceps is main accessory on all my pressing days. I have 2 pressing days every week. I have a bench day and I have an overhead press day, and we train triceps on both of them. Again, I don't want my triceps to become a weak link, and I'm making sure that they aren't. Get in and work them. And is that a lightweight for me? Yeah, you guys remember when I was peaking for meets before, doing heavier weight than that. But I'm going to use the weight that I can use. I'm going to get that good fatigue in. And check my ego at the door. After all, this is an accessory lift, not a primary lift. So yeah, time to fix this overhead press. Time to fix shoulder mobility. Let's do it right. Do it right. Get tight, do it right. And on a system of training like this where you come in and build towards 10 set on an exercise, that's the whole point. Master those exercises, get those techniques perfect. And you know what? I think if I really, again, give this exercise a day every week, I bet you in 6 to 8 weeks, particularly if I keep that shoulder mobility up, my overhead press is going to be good. Now, I pulled some charts, and for my body weight, the supposed advanced lift for that is 185. Well, you guys watched me do triples right there with 175. I did 7 sets of 3 with 180 last week. So let's set a goal for me. What I think is a reasonable goal. Me to get that lockout perfect. Get my shoulder mobility in check and build towards doing, let's say that 185, which is the supposed max for the advanced lifter. Now we know those charts aren't perfect. Let's see if I can build that up to 10 sets of 3, that 185, instead of that being a max. And I think that'll be a good baseline. I will consider myself to have mastered this exercise when with good form and a good strong lockout, I can do 10 sets of 3 with 185. So I'm going to set that as my goal, and I'm going to slowly and carefully work towards that. Check the ego at the door and do it right. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.